Thanks.
Guys, what's going on? I am on the way to a brand new customer. This is a no AC call. This customer called yesterday. I didn't get that much information. He just said that warm air was blowing out the vents and the AC was working fine up until a few days ago. I am almost there right now. Let's go take a look. I'll see y'all when I get there. Alright guys, I want to play a guessing game with you. I just went inside to make sure the fan is blowing, and I had to go back to get my tools, but I want you guys to hear something here. You can hear this unit from like around the block. Which unit you think I'm here to work on? You guessed it, the older one. This condenser fan motor is noisy. Alright guys, I don't know if my compressor is running. Actually, I do hear my compressor running. But the customer said he'll replace a filter inside. And he said a couple days ago, this unit was working fine all summer. Up until a couple days ago, that's when he noticed that the air started to get warm. I can't see the info plate. But guys, tell you what, let me take the door off and let me hook my gauges up. I'll be right back. Alright guys. This is what? A Duquesne AC10 B42, which is a 3.5 ton, 1301, R22 presumably. Yep. This looks to be a 23-year-old unit. And look at this, guys. I thought this unit was short cycling, like it just did. I thought this unit was short cycling on low pressure or high pressure. But look at this. I don't have a pressure difference. But this unit has seen better days. I want to see if my compressor is actually pulling amps, because if my compressor is pulling amps and I'm not getting a pressure difference, then this compressor is finito, 1000%. Find this thing right here. It's a smaller yellow one. Oh wow. Holy crap. See that? Holy crap. Let me turn this unit off. Holy crap. I didn't see this. The wires are burned off. It looks like this is the C terminal off the cat. That's not good. It looks like at a minimum we're going to need a new cap and a new contactor. Tell you what guys, I got to bring the customer out here. I got to show him what I'm showing you guys. Hopefully, at a minimum, if we put in a new capacitor, a new contactor, at a minimum, if this compressor works, then we can recommend maintenance. But guys, I gotta prepare this customer for worst case scenario. If we replace the burnt wires, if we replace the contactor and the capacitor, and it still doesn't work, then this compressor might be shot. But let's keep hope alive. I'm gonna, before I bring him out here, let me see what size cat that is. All right, guys, let me get the info I need, and I gotta bring the customer out here. I'll be right back. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, this turned into a diagnosis-only HVAC video. The customer called his uncle or dad or family friend or whoever the case is, who's an HVAC engineer, and the guy was upset over the phone. I gave him the price for the repairs, and he goes, yeah, the repair shouldn't be more than $200, yada, yada, yada. And guys, I let him vent. I'm like, all right, here we go again. I let him vent, and I'm like, okay, sir, I understand what you're saying, but if you know what to do and you know how much it costs, why not come out here and do it yourself? Oh, well, yeah. Point in case, guys. And I'm like, sir, this is our professional cost. There is a cost to doing business. No one can work for free. Are you going to go to your job for free knowing you got to pay bills? No. There's overhead, and most importantly, there's warranty. And I explained to him, and I explained to the customer that was there, I'm like, if what we do doesn't work, you're not paying for the same thing twice. There's a warranty that goes inside our cost of doing business. And I'm like, the closer someone prices to zero, the more concerned you should be, because it's going to be something that they're probably not going to do that needed to get done, and now you have to pay another company, or probably that same company, to come back out to pay more than what you already paid. So like, why go through that never-ending cycle of having to pay more? I don't get it. When you can just pay one time and get it done and over with. And guys, you hear me say this before, I like giving customers good and worst case scenarios of every single thing I do, whether it be repair, whether it be maintenance, whether it be replacement. And of course, you know, this is like sales related too, but like I said, guys, if you can project that image of, hey, ma'am or sir, if we do this and it doesn't work, here's what to expect. But if we do this and it does work, here's what you can expect. What customer wouldn't like that information prior to you doing anything? I've seen a bunch of crazy things, and like I said, guys, the beauty of experience is you can use it to your advantage, guys. And like, I've seen so many bad things happen where people wait too long to get things done. People, you know, and like I said, I'm not knocking, you know, contractors, you know, that's just trying to get by, but people going with the cheapest contractor, and now you got to pay someone to undo what they did and make it right. Like, eventually, guys, like I said, now I always tell customers, your time is going to be the most important asset. Even if they're working from home, what customer wants to have a week straight of having 3 different companies coming to their house to fix the exact same issue? I don't think that makes sense to me, and it's not going to make sense to a customer if you explain it to them like that. Just pay to get it done right once, and like I said, you know, if you give them some insurance, you give them some guarantees that, hey, you know, even after we get this up and going, you get maintenance done. Like I said, that could have been the biggest thing. I explained to the customer at the last job and the guy over the phone. I'm like, this unit has spider webs. Like, when the last time this unit got maintained? And like, he was like, oh no, the unit doesn't need maintenance, yada yada. And I'm like, sir, I beg to differ. You see what I see? And I'm like, I'm telling the guy here, this unit has insect webbing. Everything is like caked up inside this unit. I'm like, this isn't a normal occurrence. It took a long time for this to build up. But like, unfortunately, guys, this is one of those scenarios in which it was too late for maintenance, and like I said, the customer didn't want to, you know, get anything done, which is understandable. You're not going to win them all, but the moral of the story is, understand your cost of doing business and stick to it. That's your only saving grace. Can you help customers out? Yeah, but eventually, if you don't charge enough to keep the lights on, that is your problem, not the customer. There you have it, guys. I gotta rock out. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.